Good evening. Welcome to the channel. It's been a while since the last battle report. Um, first of all, as I always say, just a little disclaimer. If you really want to learn how to play Flames of War and you are really interested in the game and you really want to become a pro or something like that, this is not your channel. There are fantastic channels out there in YouTube. Try to find them. I would recommend all miniatures, big and small, Bali Gaming, and a number of other fantastic channels. So yeah, it's better if you go there. Now, for those of you that just want to watch this battle report, please be welcome. Today I'm bringing something really cool. As you know, it's my you don't know, but this is my second East Front battle report, and I'm bringing a couple of armies that we always choose the armies randomly. I guess you know that, right? So today we have Russians, and this is from the book called Enemy at the Gates, and then we have some Iron Cross army list. Now the cool part about these formations or these army lists, especially one coming from the Russians, is that look, the Russian army list is a hero rifle company, and with lots of infantry, and that's okay. But these guys are bringing in support some extremely heavy tanks that cannot be destroyed by the Panther 3s and Panther 4s that the Germans are bringing to the table. Let's have a look at the Russian army list first. As I explained already, we are talking about hero rifle battalion formation, HQ, and almost identical companies here. We have these two companies have 7 stands plus the Kamazar plus 2 anti-tank rifles. This one here is almost the same, but in addition of everything, it's got a heavy machine gun. So that's pretty much it. Now, the Hero Rifle Company is aggressive, is green, and is reluctant. Not the best of the best, but it is what it is. Now, and I almost forgot. The formation also includes a company of 82mm mortars, 3 stands. Now, in support, 6 T-34s early. I really like these guys here. Really cool. These are these are SU-152, and these dudes here have a front armor of 7 and a side and rear armor of 6, but they can fight artillery. And they also can they have direct fire with a AT of 13 and firepower auto, so that's really cool. You can only bring 2 to the table or to your army list, and they are really expensive, but I don't know, I thought, let's give them a try when I was building this army list. And then we have the Jewel of the Crown. We have in this army list 3 KV3s. Now, these buggers have a front armor of 10, and or more. I mean, the Germans cannot destroy this tank if they are shooting at it from the front. They may have a small chance if they are hitting or trying to hit the side or the rear of this tank with with an armor of 8. Now, with an AT of 14 and a firepower of 2+, these dudes are, really, really scary, and I don't really know how this is gonna work. We are gonna play Breakthrough, and let's see what the Germans do. Let me show you very quickly the German list. All right, so we have a Panther Grenadier formation, HQ, and 2 platoons of 7 stands with one anti-tank rifle each, and then this one here It's got 5 stands and 1 anti-tank rifle, and then we have 2 8-centimeter mortars. So yeah, that would be the formation. And then in support, we have the 10.5 centimeters artillery batteries, which is good. We have 4 Panther 3s long barrel and 3 Panther 4s long barrel. Now, the Panther 4 itself is got an AT of 10, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm not mistaken. And yeah, as I was already explaining before, guys, yeah, I don't know what the hell these guys are gonna do against the KV-3s of the Russian army list, but I don't know. It looks that it's gonna be quite interesting to me. Now, we're playing Breakthrough today. The Germans are gonna be defending, the Russians are gonna be attacking, and we have a very interesting setup today. Let me show you. Okay, so this is the table. The sun is already gone in Fiji, and yeah, this light is not working, but I hope I can show it to you properly. So what do we have? We have farm here. We have some crops, a bit of forest right in the middle. We have a road that is almost cutting this half of the table. The road is going all the way to a village, and then on the other corner we have a hill and some more crops. As you know, for this map we need to divide the map in or the table, sorry, in 4 squares, and I think, yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just give it a thought and explain you guys how I am deploying both armies. Okay guys, let's have a look at the deployment phase. So what happened? As you know, I told you we're playing Breakthrough, and the Germans have chosen this quarter here, the village, and the farm. Okay. The Russians have chosen to deploy the objectives here in this area with the 2 forests. One is right here and the other one is there. Also, the Russians are of course deploying in this quarter here, and as you can see, we have a number of units. There's only 1 platoon that is not here from the Russian army list, and that is the mortars platoon. Okay. The idea, since the Germans have decided not to take any position in the village, is to advance carefully through the village to both objectives. Probably the main difficulty is this kind of hill that is kind of in the middle of everything. But yeah, they need to be extremely careful because the Germans have deployed the 60% of their points, and within those 60%, or within that 60%, they have the platoon of Panther Force in ambush. So yeah, most likely the Panther, I mean, you never know, right? But the Panther Force could all of a sudden appear somewhere here and compromise the big tanks that these guys have here. These guys here, or those guys. There are even the early T-34s. So that's that. The Germans on the other side have deployed the 10.5 artillery batteries here, and we have 1 infantry platoon here. The intention, even though the attacker is got the first turn, is to move as soon as possible this platoon here in this forest to contest both objectives while the Germans wait for the reserves. And in reserve they have, by the way, another infantry platoon and 4 Panther 3s. They have also deployed another infantry platoon here just to kind of I would say make things a little bit more difficult to the Russians in case they decided to advance through the farm and try to attack the artillery batteries. So basically that's it. I really feel that this is a critical moment in the game because I mean, we will be rolling dice and stuff like that. And that's okay, but yeah, you have only 6 turns when you're attacking to kind of achieve your objective, meaning getting one of the two objectives here, and you need to rush. You need to rush and move as fast as possible to try and get that one of that. It looks to me that this one is going to be more, I would say, more feasible. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't want to bother you guys much, I'll try to roll with the camera only the die that are critical, and for the rest I'll let you know exactly what happened. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna do the Russian movement, and I'll come back to you. Alright guys, so the Russians are advancing. And well, the idea, as I already told you, moving all the troops towards the village, being careful of not getting any big ambush that could potentially compromise the big tanks. And we've got first blood here with these dudes. So they did an artillery bombardment against this infantry platoon, killing one team, and of course now this platoon is bailed out, and they managed to, I mean, they could see those guys advancing because I placed one stand of the HQ there. I think I made a mistake because now that stand can be seen by the 10.5 cannons, and it's gonna be potentially mayhem for the Russians. I guess that was a big mistake from my end, but well, it is what it is. So let's go through the German turn number 1. All right, before I go to the German shooting, and let me explain you exactly what happened, because the German general, who happens to be me, almost collapsed when we were doing the first stages of the German turn. Now, these guys failed to remount, so they're still pinned down with the entire Russian army coming to take that objective here. So probably I overreacted. Could be. Remember that infantry platoon that was right there? So they blitzed and they did a follow me order. Why? Because they can, because they are stormtroopers. And now they are here, they are not covered, they can get extremely obliterated. Yeah, extremely, yeah. The Russians could potentially practice the medieval with their bodies if the reserves and the ambush do not succeed. Now, this was my rationale. Since these guys were pinned down, the T-34s were extremely close to the objective, I moved the infantry platoon here, that's okay. And then, yes, I managed to get some reserves. And I thought, let's see if the Panther IIIs from the desert can kind of, destroy maybe 2, maybe 3 tanks here, and maybe that is not gonna be enough. So I decided to move to pop up the ambush. At first, I thought that I was gonna kind of place them somewhere here and try to aim to the side of these tanks. But the T-34s are extremely close to that objective, and yeah, I really feel that it could be a good opportunity to kind of destroy that unit. Let's see how it goes. On top of that, as I told you before, we have the artillery. I mean, now the artillery guys can see that team here, and yeah, according to the template, the artillery can aim to all these units here, the ones that have white dice. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go through the shooting. I'm feeling like doing the artillery bombardment first. I won't bother you guys with it, and then I'll do all the shooting and come back to you. Okay, so what happened during the shooting phase of the Germans? Well, between the Panther 4s and the Panther 3s, they managed to destroy 3 T-34s. They didn't bail out any other tank. And it's kind of interesting because, it's nice, you have destroyed the 3 tanks, but maybe we were all expecting a little bit more from all these big cats. But anyway, it is what it is. Now, the artillery boys managed to destroy, they pinned down a couple of platoons, they destroyed 2 infantry teams, and boy. So, the 10.5 centimeter batteries have an 80 of 3. And these big boys here have a top armor of 2. This guy scored a 1 on the armor save, and the Germans failed the firepower, so it's not bailout, but boy, that was something. Anyway, it's interesting now because I guess we need to find out what to do. These 2 tanks are out of command right now. The commander is here, and I guess the Russians have a number of options, but I really feel that I am tempted of putting some shooting here, because those guys could be like a easy kind of a prey, and then we need to do something with all these tanks here. I'm gonna give it a thought and come back to you. So, Russian turn to movement and shooting. So what happened? Let's start with the infantry teams. The one at the rear, the one at the back, move towards the church and this building here. This is the HQ in order to keep everybody in command. The next infantry group or company or platoon moved close to this house, and we moved here the anti-tank rifles. These guys didn't rally, so they remain where they were in the previous turn. And then let's go with the important stuff. There were 3 T-34s left. I moved 2 here, and 1 remained still because it got some nice shooting to the side of that Panther 3, and hey, good news, the tank managed to destroy the Panther 3. That's okay. And here the idea was to put as many machine gun shooting as possible against this infantry team, because they just moved, they were not in cover, and unfortunately, even though they've got 16 shots, they only managed to kill 2 teams. The artillery repeat the bombardment here, and unfortunately didn't manage to kill anything. And now we have the German turn. They will of course roll for reserves, and we need to define what to do with all these guys here. Yeah, because the Russians have a number of anti-tank rifles, but at the same time, you shouldn't be worrying much about the infantry, since they are far away from the objective. and try to keep this objective here. The bad news, I mean, these guys have a wonderful side, and you cannot do much against these two. So, and you also need to worry about these other two guys. Anyway, let me have a look at it and I'll come back to you. Okay, let's do the, well, let's have a look at the movement and the shooting of the Germans. Turn 2. The Panthers only need to be careful about the anti-tank rifles of the infantry, and of course about these two guys. And basically what I did, I moved them here just to, face the front armor of, in case they get any shot from the infantry. And these three guys, they were supposed to destroy this T-34, which, I mean, it looked to me very feasible, but it didn't happen. And then I moved the HQ of the Panther IIIs right behind this building here, because the big boys could see this tank, and the other two fire at this T-34 and destroyed it. So there are only two Russian tanks remaining, two T-34 early remaining. The one right behind this building, and this motherfucker here that is just, he's going for a Lenin order after destroying the Panther III and surviving all the shooting coming from the Panther Force. Right. Now, these guys managed to rally finally, and they moved from here to here, contesting that objective and this objective here. And that was originally the plan, and things are looking good. Now, these guys, since they survived the Russian shooting, they're gonna stay there without moving or shooting or anything, just to make things a little bit more complicated to the Russians. And then the artillery. The artillery did a repeated bombardment here, but they didn't do anything at all. So that was the German turn. In general, the Germans... Oh, and no reserves, by the way. The Germans are in a very comfortable position at this stage. They have big tanks, but what to do? Now, I mean, how are they gonna find the force or the strength to push here and make the difference to take this objective? It's gonna be very difficult. So in general, it's looking really cool for the Germans. We could potentially think on doing some crazy stuff with the infantry and try to destroy or charge against these guys here, but I don't see it. Anyway, let me have a look at the Russian turn 3 and I'll come back to you. So what do we have here? The Russian commander has decided that there's nothing to lose. So as you can see, we have full advance movement. Basically, we are going. The Russians are moving closer to the Panthers, and it's kind of risky, needless to say. So that's for this platoon here, and this platoon is doing exactly the same thing, and then this platoon here has also dashed closer, or moving towards this objective here. And the funny part is our hero T-34 moved here and almost destroyed this tank. We failed the firepower, and then this guy almost destroyed this guy here. This Panther III is also bailed out. This guy also failed the firepower. Crazy. And then with these two, with the big boys, I moved them and tried to hit the Panther IIIs too, but they didn't even manage to hit them. So yeah, that was pretty much it. And then the artillery. The artillery aim. Sorry, aim here. Wow. And I mean, the artillery bombardment didn't manage to kill anybody, but both platoons, this one here and the one in the forest, are pinned down. So I guess that was it for the Russians. Let's go through German turn 3. The Germans got one more reserve unit, this Panzer Grenadier platoon, and they've been having fun with this Russian platoon here. They fire all together, including the Panther Force, to these guys, and they managed to destroy 5 teams. The unit is still there, of course, it's pinned down. Let me put a pin down marker here. And yeah, that was that. And then these Panther 3s moved here close to the forest. They killed this Panther 4, so the only one remaining is this one here. He'll need to do some testing at the beginning of the Russian turn. The artillery managed to aim range in here. They did kill one infantry team, and this platoon is now pinned down. And other than that, I think that that was pretty much it, because there's no movement coming from these 2 platoons holding the objectives. So yeah, let's move now to the Russian turn 4. So the Russians, nothing coming from these poor guys. My gosh, they lost half of their platoon the previous turn. This platoon here move closer to the objective. It is risky because you have a Panther Grenadier platoon here and Panther Force, and you know, everybody. The idea was trying to destroy some Panther 3s with this guy here that failed, and these guys here again, they didn't even manage to hit the Panther 3s. So yeah, so far these very expensive big guys haven't done anything. And then believe it or not, even though the Germans didn't manage to rally in their previous turn, so it was perfection, or it was a nice situation for these guys to go ahead and charge or assault. They didn't manage to rally. So here we are, kind of stuck. Oh, the artillery managed to destroy one team of this platoon here and one team here. That was it. Let's go through German turn number 4. Gentlemen, bad news. A horrible combination in the form of my terrible commanding skills and my poor knowledge of the rules of the game have ended in a total disaster for the Russians. Let's have a look at what happened. Well, first of all, movement. I moved one German team here, since there was, in the previous turn, there was one team that died right there, and a second team here, just to also contest this objective. Nothing is gonna happen, but just in case. Movement. The Panther Force moved all the way here. The big tanks cannot see them, and they only have one target, destroying the famous T-34. They didn't manage to kill him. Amazing stuff. This guy is gonna be the MVP for the Russians. Now, these dudes here move right behind the forest because they don't want to be well, it doesn't matter really because these guys are not doing much. But yeah, they put some trees behind them or in front of them just to be, just to not be seen. And then the infantry team moved from the edge to here to also fire this infantry platoon. And as you can see, the results are, yeah, between the Panther threes and the infantry, they managed to kill 6 teams, and then the artillery managed to kill 3 teams. Oh, I forgot something because, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I have Panther Faust or anti-tank rifle here. I'm gonna give it a go and I will come back to you guys. Yeah, it's funny because these guys managed to hit the T-34, but they they failed the the firepower. So this dude is bailed out. That's something. So yep, I guess that's pretty much it for the Germans and in general. Before we kick off with turn number 5 for the Russians, I guess the only thing that we can do now is try to. Yeah, I really feel that we can give it. Yeah, well, let's give it a try. If the Russians manage to do a beautiful artillery bombardment here and charge beautifully to these guys, who knows? Maybe they can do something. Unlikely, but let's see what happens. So nothing big happens or happened. Basically, well, the Russians managed to get the reserves. I mean, just some mortars, and since they moved, they couldn't do any artillery bombardment. But they did ranged in a different location because the assault was a little bit too close from the preliminary template, or from the previous template, the artillery template. So they managed to range in again and killing one team, by the way, and then they assault. But the defensive fire was a little bit too much for the Russians, and even though the Germans, and this is funny, they did not manage to kill any Russian team in the assault, but the Russians had to withdraw because of the defensive fire. So they're now pinned down, and just to support a little bit more the Russian attack, I tried to kill something with these 2 guys, but nothing really happened. So that was pretty much it for the Germans, and I really feel that we can call it because nothing else is gonna kind of happen. The Germans are gonna come here now. They'll shoot point blank to that infantry team, and that is gonna be it. So, well, I guess let's see. Let's do a little recap. So we had all the Russians there. I tend to think that I don't know how to properly use big and expensive tanks, because these 2 boys didn't do much. Those guys, well, they managed to pin down here and there and kill, a few teams, but it wasn't nothing major, definitely. And the infantry team, I mean, look, the Russian infantry team, they did what they could. They are not excellent. We all know that. You get like a number of teams on the table, but yeah, nothing as reliable as some proper Russian Panzer Grenadier platoons. And I really feel that for the Germans it was a very good idea bringing all the tanks in during the first turn here, just to kind of stop the Russian attack. I was actually wondering what would have happened if I had split the Russian forces trying to attack through this corridor and also through this corridor here. I don't know. I mean, we will never know. But very interesting. I did have fun. It wasn't it wasn't one of those games that is super exciting. But I really feel that I had a good time. And I guess that is pretty much it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon. Take care. Okay, guys, just a quick one before we leave. So what happened today? Apart from the fact that probably I chose poorly well, actually no, because the Germans. I truly believe that the Germans did the right thing choosing the the terrain in this particular game. I also feel that it is extremely hard to manage very expensive tanks, and even though the army lists were chosen randomly, I yeah, it was really hard. It was really hard. I love having 75 T-34s on the table. I rather choose that than getting super expensive tanks. But hey, this was just a game that I mean we are learning here. But yeah, in general, it was a good game. I really like playing with Germans because they are far more reliable than the Russians. But the Russians also have like a little something because you never know, right? I mean, you never know what's gonna happen with them. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot playing both armies, and yeah, Lady Boss is gonna set the next table with all the new fancy stuff that we brought from Spain, and let's see how it goes. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see if I can finalize the next battle report before the end of the weekend. Take care.
Alrighty.